seen them forever. So yeah, Kimberly Horn. I was the team leader here. I was also team leader in DC. A lot of you guys know my story. Some of you guys don't. 17 years in the business, in real estate business. I now, since I stepped out of the role here, I am a MAPS coach. So I have about, I usually hold about 30 clients. I'm moving that down to about 25 clients right now. I have real estate, I do real estate with Kelly, so Kimberly and Kelly group here in Tampa. And then I'm a bold coach as well on top of a consulting company I have. And then my massive and big why is investments and passive income. So I love this part of what I do. I love the teaching part of it. So I really want to have like a conversation with you guys today. Y'all good with that? Yeah. Good, because we want to make sure you stay awake, right? All right, so is the real estate, talk to me about the real estate world. What are you guys feeling right now? New in the business, what? Shift, change, right? Crazy. Right? Like the beginning of the year, you could not run fast enough to keep up with it, yes? Right. And now you're figuring out which way you should run to keep up with it. Yeah? How many guys were in the business, have been in the business since 05, 06, 07, 08, 09, 10, 11? See, that's my concern. How many guys have raised their hand right here in the last shift? If you want to give me the clicker, you can sit down and relax.
We're recording on Zoom, so I got to click for you, but I wish I could make it that easy.
Sorry. All right. How many guys were here during the last shift? Okay, from you four, what did you learn then that you didn't know? Like when we were going, none of us knew it, right? We kept hearing it was coming, it was coming. This isn't a shift class, don't worry. But it's coming, yes? Yeah. And then all of a sudden it hit. What did you do different in your business, Paul?
Had to adjust to the new market in figuring out how to work in a shifting market that was rapidly changing.
Yeah.
Inventory was increasing and buyers.
And nobody had an answer for you, did they? Not one person could say this is the best thing you can do. Kristen, what about you?
Short sales are not fun.
Of any word in the world, that's like the four-letter word nobody wants to hear again, right? Yeah, short sales are not fun. What else?
Short sales and how to deal with REOs.
Yeah. And nobody even knew what a short sale was at the time. They're like, what is this? And here's what I'm saying. The reason why I'm bringing this up is right now you're feeling the subtle shift. You're feeling that subtle shift. If you were to go out today and you personally were going to build your dream home, what would be the first thing you would do before you build a dream home? What would you put it on? What kind of foundation?
Solid.
A solid foundation, right? Could you put your dream home on sand?
No.
Could you build it on sand?
You could.
You could. Why wouldn't you?
Because it's not stable.
Because it's not stable, it won't stay here. Here's what I'm worried about right now, is a lot of us have built our business on a foundation that is not solid. We've built our foundation of our business, this business that looks great and we're running good and we're having a great time. We built it on something that feels like it's sand. And as you're feeling the subtle shifts, you have time right now to pause long enough and say, how do I slow down long enough to recondition the foundation of my business so that when it all does shift completely, I can move faster forward. You guys get that? Yeah. So I want to show you a plan. Before I do that, I want to read one thing for you because I think it's really important. Some of you guys may have heard it. Anybody take bold this year? Awesome. This is a poem I love. Now, how many of you guys ever know somebody who grew up in the Depression era? I swear growing up, I thought we were growing up in the Depression era, but we did not. We did not. Yet this poem was written in the Depression era, and I love this poem because I believe that we have to be the hen right now. Let me read this to you. It's called The Rooster and the Hen. Said the little rooster, believe me, things are tough. Seems worms are getting scarcer and I cannot find enough. What become of all those fat ones? It's a mystery to me. There were thousands through the rainy spells, but now where can they be? But the old black hen who heard him didn't grumble or complain. She had lived through lots of dry spells. She had lived through floods of rain. She had picked a new and undug spot. The ground was hard and firm. She said, I must go to the worms. The worms will not come to me. The rooster spent vainly his day through habits by the way, where fat brown worms had passed and squat back during the rainy days. When nightfall found him supperless, he growled in an accent rough. I'm hungry as a fowl can be. Conditions sure are tough. But the old black hen hopped on her perch and she drooped her sleepy eyes and murmured in a drowsy tone, young man, hear this in me. I am full of worms and happy, for I've eaten like a pig. The worms were always there, but boy, I had to dig. See, we gotta dig now. It's time. And if we say, well, we're just gonna go back to our normal way of doing things, you're gonna be doing this. And you go, what happened to my business? Where did it all go? So let's talk about the agent success path. I love this model that we're gonna go through. You can go ahead and start. If you don't have a pen and paper, grab a pen and paper out. And if you need extra pens and papers, Amber is here to give it to you. Because I'm gonna have you draw this out. The best way that you learn this is through this. So go ahead and draw your triangle. It should look like this. On the left-hand side, put presenting questions and symptoms. And then on your right-hand side, put diagnostics and treatment. All right, you go ahead. All right, so the first level of the agent success path is called failing. Now, I know we're in KW, we don't want to say these bad words. Yet, when you guys decided to leave whatever you were doing before real estate and jump into the real estate market, did you walk into this office and they go, hey, we're going to hire you and pay you, and you don't need to sell any real estate?
I sure didn't tell any of that.
I know, well, I would definitely didn't tell you anything, but change since then, let me know. Why did no one give you that offer?
That's not how it works.
That's not how it works. You have to do the work to get paid. So every agent who steps into this role, either they leave a job. I mean, I was working full-time for a fitness facility, and I ran this big gym, yet I was making $40,000 a year, and I knew there was something bigger and better out there for me. So I left what was called security, right? And I stepped into the agent world saying, I can make more and do better by doing this. So we're all in that failing phase, we're making zero money. So the question people tend to ask is, what is the question? Why? It's up there. I'll give you all the answers up there at some point. The question is why. So when you're in the failing stage, I know. The question that agents are asking, that you're asking yourself is why? Oh. Is that a Mickey Mouse thing? The pointer, she bought this for me a long time ago, and she painted the nails. It's lost its sparkle bracelet though, that's okay, here we go. So they ask, okay, they ask the question why. They say, why am I doing this? Why is this important to me? Why will I get up every single morning now and go out and learn and do the business to get what I want? What are we looking for there? Their motivation. What about this is important? Now, agents, depending on where you are in the business, I believe we stay in this part between 0 and 6 units. I think between 0 and 6 units is where you stay in this selling stage because you have way more questions than you have any answers. So we'll go to our next one. Our next one's called surviving. This is where the agent starts to ask different questions and start asking how. How do I market? How do I farm? How do I do a listing presentation that I always get it? How do I present in a way of doing this? The how questions come, and we send everybody to training and tools. Training and tools. You want to learn how to do a better listing presentation? Come to this training. You want to learn how to market the best way ever? Come to this training. You want to be a capper? Come to this training. How do I do that? The questions change because they're getting the foundation built. I think the surviving phase is anywhere from about 7 units to about 30 to say 36 units. I know.
that a year?
Not,
Is that in a year or is that just your first one?
it depends.
Oh.
It does depend. Great question. Great observation. Go ahead and put the next one up. Now here's where I want you guys to everybody know what the 80-20 principle is, yes?
Yep.
80% of our income can come from just 20% of our activity. That's Pareto's law. And Pareto says, he was doing a study in Italy, and he says, hey, listen, I noticed that 20% of the land of the people own 80% of the land. And when you're looking at being a real estate agent, you really got to get hyper-focused on your 20. What is the 20? Now, I want to show you something. All right, here we go. Here's what happens, really quick here. Just because you hit a level, can you fall down?
No.
Yes. How come?
You get lazy.
You get lazy, frustration, don't keep up with what's going on in the market, you're not studying what's happening, you're not listening to what needs to be done. See, what, life, health, right? COVID, right? So there's times where you can be in a succeeding thing. Now, first, before I even go farther, if you say my business, what I consider successful is 20 units, 30 units a year, and I love that, you're good, that's great. No, nobody says it has to be a certain way. I'm just giving you a model and a path. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right. Sometimes what you find, though, is people might be really running in this. You ever seen it, right? You're like, you get into your lead gen time, you're in your database, you're really working it, the market's hot, and it's just here. And then all of a sudden something changes, and then everything goes down, that fun roller coaster of real estate that we might have. And you turn around and you look and you go, what happened? And your business starts to drop, or something happens in health, or something happens in the market. So you can come back and forth here. The interesting part is 80% of our agents will stay below this line. 80% of the agents will stay in this one, and either they're okay with it or they don't want to make any changes to do anything different. They may say, hey, listen, this is perfect. I'm able to work the way I want to, live the way I want to, and go on the vacations that I like. Gary Keller says, retirement is doing what you want, when you want, with who you want. So that may be perfect for them. It's the 20% that move up here. You say, you know what, I want something different. Maybe they don't know exactly what they want, but they want something different. So we go to our next one, and this is called the thriving phase. Now, I believe this one can be, if we were going to break this down a little bit, I would say this is about 15% of the population, and this is about a 5%. And I'll show you a little bit more about that. Thriving stage is people are asking what and where. What do I want my business to look like? Where do I want it to go? What's the next step in my growth? How far do I want my growth to go? Where do I want that growth to look like? Where will I go? What will I do? You understand? That's when we get very strategic. When you look to going from here, I need more colors. From here, oh, I should. All I have to do is pass. I usually carry my own colors around. I knew where I was coming though. When people are looking to go from here to here, they really need to get in the strategic piece. You by yourself, doing it alone is really where the difficulty lies. Being strategic. So we might look at things like coaching. You might look at things like bold is a perfect example of one, right? You get in there, they really blow your mind, they stretch you up, and you say, I never want to do that again, and then you just show back up the next time because someone conned you into it. You're going to CV, you're going to career visioning, you're going to 30, 60, 90. You're going to expansions, you're finding out what K-Win's about. You're starting to strategically look at something different of where you might want to go in your business. You know there's something out there that you don't know, and you just need to go find out what it is, what fits into what you need. So you've got to get strategic. Because if you don't get strategic, what you're doing is you're saying, I know everything, and I can do it all on my own. Yet there's no successful person out there who did not have a partner with them or a coach or someone to say, take a 30,000-foot view of the business and say, yeah, we got to fix this. Now, sometimes when you get really strategic in this area, which I find a lot because I've coached anywhere from baby agents to $150 million teams, in this area right here, it gets blown up sometimes. Paul, this is probably a perfect example. I know I've watched you in your business. Sometimes you get in that area, you're like, no, I'm running really good. It looks good. I feel good. I mean, I know there's some areas I need to fix. And when someone starts to really put out places, start looking at your business at a different level, they get out of your business because you run in it, and they point those out, you feel like they're trying to make your business explode. Well, they will, because you're going to have to recondition the way the business looks to go faster. And each one of these is taking cement and making it more secure, making the foundation stronger. Okay? Let's go to the last one. The last one that we have is called the succeeding. Again, if you're happy wherever your business is, you do not need to go any farther. Succeeding is what I feel the 5% of the agent populations. They're looking for empire builders. They're looking to taking this business and having it run here, and then they're gonna have other people. They're looking for a who. They're looking for a who. Who's the person that I need to have in my world so that my business can run on its own? And they might take their different levels of businesses on that. I'll be honest with you, when I stepped out of the team leader role, right, I had done pretty much everything I could have done in the team leader role. When I went back in, and then I had been building my maps business. Well, then I had to restart Bold. I had not taught Bold. I had to go through this process for that. First it was like, what the heck, and why am I doing this? Then it was like, okay, how do I do this in that way? How does he do it so well? How does she do it so well? And then I got very strategic. I know I need coaches. I have 4 coaches. I have coaches because in different parts of my business, I expect different parts of things to happen. I have my own personal they now change it to performance coaching. It's Kimberly coaching. It's like, you are crazy. But we can harness this to the good, right? That's what Debbie does for me. I have a head coach for Bold, who says, Kimberly, you can do it better this way, or he bounces questions off of me. I have a maths head coach who works with me just in my math stuff. I have a financial coach because I realize I like money and I need somebody else to help me control it in the right directions. So I have a financial coach. So having those coaches helps me take all the different levels up in this. Right? You can go to the next. Wait, before we move on, any questions or thoughts
I
on
have a
this?
question.
Yes.
So I hear what you're saying and listening, and I'm hearing what you're saying, and I am struggling. Maybe I need a private coaching session, but how would somebody know if they have moved from this surviving to thriving, and I mean, they're kind of like, I don't want to say stuck in whatever it is that they're stuck with. Are you suggesting that maybe they should, or myself, should hire somebody specific in a coaching to get out of that 80% or out of the 15 to the 1%?
Do you want to get out of it?
Sure.
Sure.
Yes.
I heard sure. What'd you hear when she said sure?
Not really.
She thinks.
Wishy-washy.
Oh, wow.
Maybe. Answer that question first. Let me give you a good example. I'm not going to say, I have to be careful. Do you know how many stories I have from people in Stanford property? Y'all have all probably been featured in a Bold or a Max. Don't use names, though.
We want to get some of that.
Right, exactly. If you're going to bring a story in, my sisters found out I told them a story about them both. They're like, which one? I'm like, I don't know. Just don't show up. I like to embellish. This is not an embellishment, though. Coaching an agent, let's just say they're from DC. We're going to just take them out of here. The story tells they're from here, actually. Nobody in the room, though, so we're all good to go. This is recorded. This agent's from DC. This agent was on my ALC. This agent was doing about 200 in gross commission for the year. This agent had kids. This agent was, from the outside looking in, looked successful. This agent walks into my office and says, can we meet? And I'm like, yeah, come on, sit down, let's talk. I think I'm going to quit real estate. So after my jaw was picked up off the ground, I said, okay, tell me more. I hired a team, I fired a team. I hired an EA, I fired her. I hired another EA, she quit. I started another team, they're horrible, and nothing's working. I'm gonna go get a job. I said, okay, let's talk. Now I knew this person liked to spend a lot of time with their kids. So much so that I knew this person picked up their kids early sometimes and did like parent-child, I'm trying not to get any pronouns in here, parent-child time together, right? I also knew they like to do lots of vacations, not only with the kids, they like to do vacations with just the other spouse. They like to spend a lot of time, and so I started the conversation. Hey, do you still pick up your kids, every now and again? Or, oh yeah, I do that at least once a week. I get one kid, we have like a little afternoon. I'm like, that's awesome. Hey, do you guys still go and do those little, long weekends? Yeah, we have done, I think at the time we were in the middle of the year, we've already done 4 this year, and it was like June or July. I'm like, almost 1 a month. But that's great. I said, hey, what big vacation do you have planned for you and your spouse? And they said, oh, we've got Hawaii planned. We're so excited about Hawaii, and the kids are already taken care of. I'm like, that is awesome. So what job is going to pay you $200,000 to leave work early once a week, take 4 long vacations and a big Hawaii trip? Stop, get yourself out of who you are. Like, it was fine if you didn't want to do it, but you got to make a decision if you want to do it. And what that agent was doing is they were going here to here. They were bouncing from surviving, wanting more, and going back and forth between here and there. The team was working great. Woo, I'm going to stay here. Oh, the team sucks. Oh, I got that perfect, EA now. Then she quits. Now this sucks again. It was back and forth, just that real estate roller coaster. So, you got to ask the question, do I really want it? You can't be sure. Maybe. Now, do you deserve it? Absolutely. I think everybody does. Everybody does. You got to choose about what you want to do. And if you make a choice that it's not, that's okay too. It is a choice though. Yet, think about this. When you're making a decision to go from surviving to thriving, you still got to figure out what the why is. My why has changed. My first why was to make $40,000 in real estate, because that's what I made at the fitness facility. And then it was to match, there was other ones that came up to that. Then it was to match my husband's income. That felt good. But it was to double it. Now it's generational wealth. And at first it was just about, I have 3 kids. I have savage twins, they're 10. More savage by the day. And I have this savage princess, Savannah, who's not 6, she's 6. She's big now. And so at first it was generational wealth on them. How do I create humans that are assets to the world and not something else to the world, right? How do I create this amazing humans and get them to be in? Well, now my why has changed to generational wealth. Every MAP client I get on a call with, every client we deal with in our real estate team, every agent I talk to when I'm in Bold or leader I'm talking to, or in our consulting company or investment, how do I touch their world that one day that may impact theirs? And I will never know, and that's okay, but that's my why. So it's never enough to stay in any of these boxes unless I'm in the succeed. For me, that's a big why for me. Make sense? Tracking? You guys good? Any more questions about this? She's gonna pop this, if you want the actual printed one of this, she's gonna pop it on something.
Off the Facebook group, got you.
I don't know the needs, but they're, all right, any questions on this before we move forward? You guys still going good? All right, go ahead. So you guys have seen this one, right? E to P. What does E stand for?
Entrepreneur.
What does P stand for? All right, I'm gonna back it up just a little bit. In your natural ability to wake up, yawn, get out of bed, brush your teeth, get dressed, you have a very natural ability to be successful. The level of success may look different for different people. I still believe moms, no offense, men, you kick butt and take names and still like change diapers and get kids to school and this and that, whatever. I think moms have a higher level of capacity, because I am one. In every part of your success, you're gonna hit a ceiling to where you go next. E to P shows up everywhere. I really believe E stands for ego. E says, honey, we look pretty good here. Honey, you don't want to go try it. I'm saying honey, but she's that there. Not honey you, honey her. Honey, you don't want to try it. Come on, look how good you look now. If you try that, what happens? You try that, then how will you look? Your ego will hold you back, because every human being has a natural tendency to want to look good and be right. We just want to look good and be right. So they have a natural ability to stay right there. So our ego will hold us back, because people will say all the time, like, I'm going to get purposeful, I'm going to have a better business. And that's great. There's at least a need and a desire to do that. But it takes 5 very specific things. So if you don't write anything else down from the E to P, I want you to write these 5 things in purposeful. 1, you have to have the focus. What will it look like? If I'm going to make a change, if I'm going to jump from one level to the next level, focus. What is my actual goal? What is the focus? What is the focusing piece that I'm going to, stay tied to? The second one's going to be strategic options. How will I strategically do something different to get where I want to go? Because I see it as cracking open who you are and redesigning that person to get to the next level. So what are the strategic options? The other ones, what models and what systems do I need to implement, build, grow? Because if someone's doing 30 transactions and someone's doing 30 million, do the systems and models look different?
Yes.
Yes, they've had to master the ones that get there. Love when John Maxwell, someone came up to him and said, John Maxwell, I want to be you. He goes, that's great. Do you want to do the things I had to do to get you? It's true though, right? People say that. I want to be you. Great. I love that you want to be me. Are you willing to do what I had to do to get here? And the answer is either yes or no or I think so. What was it, right? And then the last one is our friend accountability. See, here's the deal. You can have the best laid plan. You can have the best focus and strategies and models and systems. You got to have a high level of accountability, and you are not it. You got to have someone who will hold you accountable to that. Sometimes that may be a coach. Sometimes that may be a business partner. Sometimes maybe a partner in the real estate. I don't know about husbands and wives together. I've seen it happen sometimes successfully, and not in my world. I'd like to see Michael Horn tell me something. That would go over great. His one is, where do you want me to lead you this time? And I'm like, down that path. He goes, are you sure? And I said, yes. So eat a pea, I want you to say that going from each one of these is an eat a pea moment. It is asking those different questions. All right, we go to the next one. I'm gonna have you rate yourself real quick, and then we're gonna show the conversation. All right, we're gonna rate yourself. Gonna rate yourself 1 to 10 on these 5 categories. My goodness, I did not think that was gonna take such a really. The first one's gonna be mindset. 1 to 10, where are you in mindset? 1 is, what is this word mindset she talks about? How do you spell that? 10 is, you know what? I get up with a purpose in the morning. Maybe you listen to a podcast or you had an affirmation before you step in. You get in the mirror and you're like, this whole week today. And you get started. And your mindset's good. Maybe sometimes you have bad thoughts that come in, that is human. All right, productivity. Do you have a time block calendar? Do you follow the time block calendar? Does the time block calendar match your goals? Money and net worth. 1 to 10 on money and net worth. Are you on track? Maybe you don't have exactly what you want. Are you on track? Do you know where you are? Do you even know your net worth? Knowledge is power on that. Moving from E to P, where are you? How interested are you moving from E to P? Or do you say, nope, I'm pretty good where I am?
Where are you or where are you?
Where are you? Are you willing? Yeah, you're rating it. Like, if I say, a big thing for me and my coach is whenever I get awareness on something, I'm like, now I can move forward because I understand what I've not done. So I rate myself high on this. I'm not mastered in this. I'm willing to master it though. Let me show you the next step. And guys, I can tell you this, in some areas of this, you may find business looks different, personal life. You can look at all these different things and see that. And then willingness to be accountable. How willing are you to be accountable? If you choose not to do something, you go, but you don't understand what my week looked like. If someone's holding you accountable, or you go, you're right, thanks for calling me out on that. Accountability is tough, and yet it's necessary. All right, add those 5 scores together. It cannot be over 50. Just make sure everybody's paying attention there, Beth. Cannot be over 50. Shout out some scores for me.
39.
39. 29. 32.
36.
36.
26.
26.
That's the same number.
26 is in the back. All right, here's where you guys will never like me again, and maybe you won't let me come back and teach anything. Go to the next slide, please. Score.
Yes, I like that.
Now, here's the deal. I'm not coming here to say that you are an A, B, C, D, E, F. Do you have opportunity?
Yes.
I would bet if I was to look at your number, there's one of those numbers that if you wake up at 4 a.m. thinking about something, it probably is in that area. Now, here's what I also love, is we are about progression, not perfection. Yes, honey?
Natasha,
I know.
because what if you're happy where you are, so you rated yourself low on the week, you don't want
then I don't think that, I think you can take that one out of the equation.
And you're not failing, you're fabulous.
Whoa! It really, and that's a great point, and that's why I always say whenever you see this, guys, if you love where you are and what you're doing, just do that. Be happy in that. It's when there's a desire to do more. And here's what I also know, you may not have a desire to do more in that one spot now, that could change next week. And awareness, being able to hear about it is what makes it powerful. So now you're fabulous.
I'm always fabulous.
Yes, you are. Now, here's what I'm going to ask you to do. I would like for you to look at the ones that you rated yourself of. I'd like you to put an actionable item right beside it. What is one thing you could do today that's progression, that's 1% better, that you could do today to move that number from a 5 to a 5.5, to a 6 to a 6.5? What is one little small thing that you could do? Because we all can pick something small to do that would be actionable.
The productivity column would be the following schedule.
What's that?
Productivity section would be the following schedule.
It is. I believe so. Yeah, so I take my schedule and when I set my goals up for the year, I'm happy to go across on this too. I need to stop saying I'm gonna do stuff.
She knows
We all heard that.
We all heard
that. You put it on the schedule.
But I'll do, whenever I look at my GPS, and I've learned this through years, and I'll be honest with you, I suck at 411. I'm horrible at it. Because that whole monotony of putting the weekly stuff down does not compute. But I'll take my GPS to my 411 and then I just put it in my time block calendar. So now when I'm working on the business, and we had this conversation this morning, when I'm working on specific things, so let's say, what area of your business right now, Jennifer, do you need to like, what do you need a big help and credit to?
I have the calendar there, I just need to do it.
You just need to follow the calendar.
I mean, it was on that coaching, so I block the morning and I block the afternoon, and I don't let anything interrupt it, like, I need to flip it.
You need it, yeah.
I need to replace it.
So I take what is in my monthly to-do list and I put it in a plan, a block plan. I was traveling for Bold and I was sitting at the bar having dinner and I was working on my computer and some little dude sitting beside me says, "Oh, you look a type A person." I said, "Excuse me?" He said, "Well, you look type A," and I had my calendar up. My calendar's type A. Y'all know this as an agent. Y'all say, can I meet with you? Yes, you can. Let me look at my calendar first. And I said, you know what, I'm not type A. Nobody's type A person out there. And when it comes to my calendar, you will not, if I have to say yes to you, then I have to say no to something else. And I'm okay with that as long as I say it's okay. But this calendar is created to meet the goals that I want. So much so, if you guys haven't done a mid-year review at this point in your business and track where all your income is going and what your goal was for that piece here, there's time to still make a shift in it to meet the goals, which I'm doing. My coach went through that. So yeah, the time block calendar is powerful. When you master that, man. All right. Any other questions on this? I can't think there's any more time. I don't think so. Okay. We're going to let you guys out early because that's the best thing about the team meeting. You get out early. And that's all I got to say. So what questions do you have? What ahas? What did you take away today? So you know your day was worth your time.
The 1% changes in each section that's getting 1%.
Just a little bit. Yeah. I mean, we can sit in the muck, right? Listen, building your business on cement versus a swamp is the difference of who's the greatest of your success. All right, what else was your aha?
I got another one.
No, for Paul.
Putting your GPS into, your calendar match your GPS.
Yeah.
I like that, because I started with the full one. I think it's a great accountability tool if you're looking at it daily. But and the GPS is a monthly, right?
Yeah.
So if your calendar is matching your GPS, then
Yeah, I do the 411. I just do it only monthly now, because when I was doing it weekly, I was struggling with the weekly stuff. So as long as I check off everything in my calendar, I know I've hit my monthly goals.
yeah, and then there's your calendar match.
And does your calendar match your goal? And do you spend percentage-wise whatever you want to make? If you have different buckets, are you spending that time in there? All right, anybody else? What's up? Not ready.
Me first.
I'm trying to figure out what kind of coach I need next.
What kind of coach
Why don't you and I sit down sometime and we'll talk about it?
Yeah, this is beyond the office.
Oh, you have my number. I'm on a cruise next week. Work with you?
What day?
She's got to check her
Your
calendar.
calendar. I make sure,
Just
because I'm gonna take away from something else.
No, email me. I can do it on the 1st or the 2nd of August. If you want to do it, you don't have to email me. Just don't go anywhere and we'll put it in my calendar.
Fine, I got my little.
Yes, honey.
Everybody's success is different.
So different.
I hear from agents all the time, you're doing so great, this is We're way more units than I am. But I just focus everything different. And that's right for me.
Yep.
It doesn't mean that I'm bitter or that anyone's bitter, this is like.
Yeah. I love that because that's who you should be with. Because you don't ever, if you start comparing yourself to everybody else's, I mean, you're just a duck on water. Well, I know your feet are moving.
Like hell.
Exactly, like I know, right? And I mean, I remember when we first met at your very first meeting, you're like, this is what I'm gonna do. And I'm like, that's awesome. And you did that. And how many years have you lived here now? 4, and now you're dominating. And you were ridiculed for that from some agents as well.
I still am.
Are you?
Daily.
Because they're jealous. That's right, you're like, this is all I'm worried about, baby, and that's what it should be about. Everybody's success is different. This doesn't mean, go back to the going. This is a model. Choose yours. You may say success for me is, we can change it out. Who do I want to become for succeeding? Who do I want to become could be your success. Change the questions out. I'm putting unit base on there because the reason why I see people who want to go from the 80 to 20% is they're looking for something more. The agent I was talking about didn't want to change that himself. So he could never, yet he wanted more. He was doing 4 actions and wanted 10 results. But you can't do that. If you want to get at a 10 and 10 to you is this number or this production or this whatever it is, I mean, whenever I look at how much money I make or how much success I have, it's so I can have from June to September to work a day and a half a week. And I'm with my kids. We have experiences all summer long. I just took them to Miami to see a Barcelona game. We're going on a cruise next week. We've been camping. We've seen my mother twice. This doesn't go on the regular Facebook page, right? But then I'm just saying to you, like, your success looks different. Who do you want to become? Where do you want to go? What does it need to look like? How do I get there? Why do I want to be there? It's just a model.
You think the best saying that you use all the time, don't complete your.
Insides, other people's outsides.
It's like my mantra,
It should be.
because I cannot compare myself to anyone else, and nobody should compare.
No. I had some people come up because I coach Fold, and there's generally, I had 180 in one room. We want to be here. And I'm like, oh, you sure? Because if I let you funnel into the crazy what's up here, you might be like running for training. Yeah, don't compare yourself, because when you do, you always find yourself lacking. And who wants to feel lack all day long? Anyways, that's what I have for you guys today. I trust it was helpful. I did tell them in September I'll teach how to grow some million with just 4 people on your team if you guys are interested in that.
We're gonna put her on a team meeting. That's the second one you published this year.
I did call Paul.
Okay.
Huh?
Whatever.
I think I should have called everybody. I thought about that. I'll go back on there. There you go. Your baby girl is
Not a baby.
And I'm like, it's awesome. I'm sorry.
I'm like, oh my God. This is actually. Savannah will say something to me and Mike goes.